we go. Morning all. Wednesday, where are we? I can't remember where. Just after 5:30. Without doubt the best time of the day. Morning Guy. He's always the one who gets fed first, lucky chap. Stick a few lights on. Exactly the same thing will be happening all around, wherever there are horses, the same thing will be happening. And we find it's the best part of the day because the horses are always pleased to see you at this time of day. Because they're hungry, hopefully. So they're pretty simple, 3 different types of feed, or levels of feed really. Racehorse nuts for the horses that are in full work, and slightly lower protein ones for the horses that aren't, and a different feed for the fillies as well. Ooh, great as it gets there. This time of day we're just looking for everything to be normal. You see that he's hungry. Racehorses are absolute animals of routine. They want to be fed at the same time of day, and they want to be exercised at the same time of day. And so usually they'll behave the same way every morning. This fellow will take a turn round, come round to my right, and come to the manger here. And some, as you'll notice, will go round to the left, and some will turn around in different ways. And we're just looking to see that they're all right, moving well. Morning, Bragg. One of the stars of the show, Bracador. Come on in, boy, in you come. That's it. Just check that everything's all right with him. Hey. Good boy. There's a good boy. No, you go and eat your breakfast. Don't look at the camera. This is a spot we look up every morning, see whether we can see Venus. If we can see Venus, who rises up there in the east, it's usually not a bad morning. It looks a bit dark at the moment, but hopefully I think it's meant to be a reasonably dry day. Lady de Vega. Good morning, darling. Good girl. There's a good girl. See, they're all looking at everybody else. The staff are in here by 7. Plenty of them come in early to get the job done even better than expected.
So Paul, it's what, 7:30, and this is first lot. So far today you've done feeding of the horses, the staff have arrived, they've got all their kit saddled up, and then you've got the first bunch of horses out.
Precisely, we're continuing on now to first lot.
And you see these horses every day. What are you looking for when you look at them here in the ring?
We're looking, most often, we're sort of looking for normality, just the horse behaving as it usually does. Anything left or right of the middle is sometimes a sign that something's up. We're also, obviously, in their work, we're looking for improvement in the fact that they can climb the hill easier and don't find it quite such hard work. But otherwise, it's just looking to see that they're normal. There's no coughing, no sneezing, no limping, no nasty things like that.
Right, well, should we
let them go?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
And standing here, looking out, it does seem the most kind of picture perfect setup. You've got your gallop, you've got the jumps, the lovely farmhouse, the land out here. What more could you need?
Well, we can make our mistakes in private here, rather than being in Newmarket and Lambeth where everybody knows what's gone on already. And it is. And I think we don't ever have to go on the roads, and we can go through the woods there, and every field's got a grass sort of strip around it. So, you know, they can go off for hacks and things like that on their own. Therefore, hopefully, the horses are relaxed. If your staff are relaxed and no one's shouting and screaming, and therefore the horses will be relaxed. If the horses are relaxed, they'll eat more, and you can train them a bit harder. But as long as everyone is calm, then the horses will be calm. Yeah, on the left as we see them is Go As You Please, and he's coming up with, that's Richie McClernand with the white cap, and Rex Dingle on Indefatigable on this side. Very aggressive, fierce lady she is.
Yeah,
look at her.
See her with her ears back a lot.
Is that wonderful? That's her. That is her.
That's
the
what
reason,
makes her so competitive.
Absolutely, and the reason she missed the break at Cheltenham, because they had a standing start, having had a false start, was she was trying to bite everybody on either side, and the plan was to sit 6th or 7th, and she was 24th or 24th the first mile and a half.
Busy attacking
because she was attacking everyone. Far side is this nice 3-year-old Leo, as we call him, and this side House Island. Leo thinks he knows it all already.
Yeah. So again,
Jack.
what are you looking for here when they come up past you?
See that they're keen on their work, enjoying themselves, happy, not under pressure, not struggling to climb our hill. And as they get fitter, when they first start coming up this hill, they get tired, and you can see them just get a little bit tired. But gradually, as they get fitter and fitter, they travel further and further and further, and easier and easier.
And are you listening out as well?
Yeah, absolutely, listening for noises and things like that. The horse on this side, forget you not. We're a little suspicious about his wind, and he's going for a wind test at Ben Brain's tomorrow. Because he's been a little bit disappointing. He's a fine horse, he's got a good pedigree, but he just hasn't done it yet, and I think the wind is probably the answer.
And how often would they come up here in the morning?
An ordinary day they'll do 2, and a work day they'll do 3, and a quiet day they'll probably just do the 1.
And how do you communicate what kind of speed you want them to go?
That's always difficult. We're steady, quicken up the hill, various descriptions in the detail, and paw.
Every trainer has a different language.
Yeah, well, exactly.
And they swing canter.
Go to Aiden's
okay.
Steady, because my daughter Sophie's there, and she's learnt that a steady is completely different to a steady, Sophie. You know? It's just so we all have our ways, and sometimes we get the message through, and sometimes we don't quite.
So I ride Lady VEGA every day for Old Gold Racing. She's very similar in character and personality to Indefatigable. They're both quite stubborn mares, and you have to negotiate with them, but they obviously, Indefatigable's shown her potential, but I believe Lady VEGA has the same potential. They both are very similar in the fact when they first started jumping hurdles, they were both needed to sharpen up a little bit, and just the lesson with Yogi today will help that. I'd say she's a horse with a hell of a lot of potential. She's shown that on the flat, and she definitely showed that over jumps.
Right, so I feel quite guilty here because I am stealing the ride on Bracador this morning from Lara, who rides him every day and has got to know him really, really well. Tell me what he's like.
He's lovely. I've sort of really experienced love at first sight with horse. He's amazing to ride. I'd sort of take him into battle with me. He just takes everything in his stride, and it's brilliant. He's got a wonderful movement. He sort of flies rather than gallops.
This guy is an absolute do to ride, and He's just got a great feel underneath you and fills you with lots of confidence, and he's very light on his feet, energetic, athletic, and he knows what he's doing as well. So for me, that is great. I've got to say, I haven't done a huge amount of schooling, so he's teaching me more than I'm helping him, and I can think of a better partner to do it with.
So hello everyone, I'm YOGI BREISNER and we are here at Paul Webber's racing stables, schooling some horses and taking them through their paces. There are many ways of teaching horses to jump. Most horses are naturally gifted in their jumping and actually needs very little practice. Other horses might find it a bit more difficult and might need a little bit more practice. But all horses, when they start out, when it's new, they need to have an introduction to it. Part of that introduction is to actually have them loose jumping, and they learn a lot loose jumping because they learn to take responsibility for the jump themselves, to adjust their stride, to put themselves right, to use their own natural technique without having to carry the weight of the rider. So the next step after loose jumping is to take them into an enclosed area like this, in indoor school or an arena, and have little jumps that they go over. When we start out with 4 horses like this, 2 of them experienced, 2 of them less so, then I have a standard exercise which is just 2 jumps like this with 1 stride in between. And what we are working on here to begin with is naturally to look at the jump, adjust themselves, and then avoid it. And here we are very much working on eye to foot coordination. So with these small little jumps here, we are working on their natural instinct to look at something that is in their way, play with their feet, and then avoid it by picking their feet up. And we often start this out in trot. To give the horses time to figure the whole thing out, but also to work on that all essential footwork. So when they come into trot, they have to use their feet, play with their feet in front of the jump, just like the grey horse did. And then with the 2 fences with a canter stride in between, we are just asking the horses to use that canter stride, which is the last one before they then have to take off. Now all horses are individuals and they have a different stride length, so we might have to adjust the stride length here to accommodate for the horses. So I asked all of them to walk because at the minute this distance is a little bit too short for them. If I want to work on their ability to shorten up, I might well leave it like that, but I want to open it up now because I want them to have a stride pattern that is comfortable for them. They looked at what they were doing, they played with their feet, and then now when I'd opened the distance up, they were a little bit more comfortable in the distance. Didn't matter that it was a bit short for them to begin with, because they just had to shorten up. But then the stride became normal. So this is the advantage of being in here and having the poles, in that we can adjust the jumps in order to get the horses to do what we are looking for. And we adjusted the distance earlier. Now I put these rails up. They're not just there to get the horse into the middle of the jump, but horses has got monovision. In other words, they can use their eyes separately. They've also got peripheral vision, and what we want them to do is to start focusing on the jump. So when they come into the jump and they see those poles here, their eyes goes a little bit from the outside in here, and they create bifocal vision, which makes it easier for them to then judge the distance. That's right. Great.
Rack. Look after them. Right, that's a fence, off we go. Go on then. Off we go. Oh. Blah. Good boy, this one's a bit bigger. Just crouch down. Up. Good boy. And the last one. 1, 2, up. Whee! Good boy. You weren't sure about the first one, were you, mister? And then he said, come on then.
Yeah, great. I think what is so pleasing with Lady VEGA here is that she's come out here, she was measuring it well, and she showed that she's got lots of scope. This is all about going up the steps. So Paul has loose school Lady VEGA when she first came in and she was introduced to jumping. She has now had 2 or 3 sessions in the indoor school, and in connection with that she's also been out here about 3 or 4 times to school. And now we are out on the schooling ground where the pace is a little bit stronger. It's not full racing pace as yet. Super. I would be happy with her, yeah, to leave it like that.
We fully realise that having a horse is part of the entertainment business, and it's very important that the owners come here to see their horses as often as they can. It's open house here at Cropredy Lawn, and the reward for attending early in the mornings is, of course, my wife Coo's magnificent breakfast, and we also have a Ballymaloe trained chef in her daughter Millie, so you won't lack for culinary entertainment.
Now we know that when choosing where to have your horse trained, the most important thing to check out is what the breakfast is like.
Absolutely, the most important bit.
This is Paul's wife, Coo, who is in charge of that, amongst a whole load of other things here at Cropredy? Cropredy stable. Cropredy Lawn?
Yeah.
Cropredy Lawn.
Yeah.
So, what normally happens is horses go out, owners come and...
Owners come, not often first lot. The really keen ones or local ones come first lot. Generally second lot. They might come in here and have a cup of coffee, go out and watch their horses, might do 1 or 2 lots, then come in and have breakfast.
Right, and what's on the menu?
And today we have the usual full English breakfast with local sausages from our local farm shop, eggs being fried now, bacon, tomatoes, a few little sausages. These are for the people outside who are working very hard.
I know there's a bread maker in the house as well.
Yes, there's the resident chef who's my daughter, so that's fantastic.
Ta-da! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you can expect for breakfast at Paul River Racing. Right, so we're here in the jumping lane.
The loose
correct?
jumping lane, we call it, exactly.
The loose
That's
jumping
right.
lane.
That's
so
right.
we've got a sand arena, basically, a sand ring with a couple of decent-sized tired jumps, and the horse is going around on its own.
That's it. It's all voice activated in here. This is the city cobbler. She's running over hurdles. She's about to start over fences. And this is where we teach the horses to jump in the beginning. We put a long rope on them and just put the tires down on the floor and get them the idea of them literally going bunny hopping from one side to the other. Take the long rein off, and off they start going around on their own.
And what's the purpose of this?
This is practice without the interference from jockeys, and it's for the horses to learn that jumping, hopefully, is fun. As progress comes along, everybody has a swimming pool, everybody has a better gallop, everybody has this, that and the other, so we've always got to try and find an edge. We think the water walk is a great help.
Paul, what is this big watery trench we've got here?
Well, this is where we do our duck racing really most of the time. But it's our water walk for the horses, created to let them get straight into cold water after exercise on the gallops. We use it to cool the tendons and joints and shins. Rugby players used to have hot baths. Now it's all about cold and dispersing bruising. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take the heat out of the tendons and the ligaments. That it's that heat that can wear down the tendons and disintegrate the fibres. And so we're trying to give those horses every chance of staying sounder for as long as possible, and even a bit longer than that. Well, it's like all these things. The useful bits of kit are the ones you think, how on ever did I manage to train horses without it? Like, how do we live without the fax machine? How do we live without the mobile phone? And the swimming pool is a tremendous aid to help you to prevent losing time with horses. You know, when they've had a bruised foot or a sore shin or something like that, you can exercise them in the swimming pool whilst maintaining their exercise and not losing too much time. The whole thing in this business is about trying to not lose time with horses. We're always trying to aim at a particular target, and if you get put off for 2 or 3 days by something, you miss that target, you have to find another one. So it's a tremendous benefit. Horses loosens the horses after exercise. In the summertime, everything swims through. Obviously, as it gets colder, we do less of it. But in the summertime, everything swims through after exercise, and they even have a swim in the summer before they get on the horse box to go racing. And as you'll see here, they all get pretty used to coming in and enjoying it. It's just another part of their routine. It became such a part of Edgebriar's routine that he got rid of his jockey around the farm one day, and we picked him up in the truck, came back here, looked for the horse, couldn't find him in the stable, and with which he appeared right here. He'd come back in his saddle and bridle and rug, walked himself into the pool, swum himself through, got out the end, walked back down there and stood exactly where we are here, waiting to be scraped off. So it proves they're creatures of habit and they enjoy it once they know what they're doing.
So something you see a lot of at Paul Webber Racing that we've seen this morning is this Fairfax brand on the horses' sheets and on the riders' jackets. So I thought I'd find out from Vanessa of Fairfax what it's all about. Tell me about the equipment that we're seeing here this morning.
Okay, well, we've been known for manufacturing equipment for the sports horses, predominantly for the Olympic teams, and I got roped into trying to help the racehorse in its daily work. This is the tree. This is a half tree, which is commonly used in racehorses, and the issue with this really is that as the horse is galloping and the tree is interacting with its musculature, it's causing pressure points and allowing it not to use itself as freely as it would naturally.
Okay.
So what we've developed is a tree here which allows the musculature to move under the horse and to allow it to move more symmetrically, and really what we're all about is increasing the longevity of the racehorse, so improving its performance and getting it to run for a longer period of time.
Okay, so how do you know that exercising a horse in this saddle is going to give you that advantage to a traditional saddle?
Well, the secret really is probably easy to see on the underside, so if we turn them both over, if we compare this one to that one, what we've actually got down the underside is a channel here, and this really, this isn't wide enough for to give ample spinal clearance for the horse in motion. So if you imagine that really the horse's spine is about the width of your arm, so here we've got a full easy arm's width all the way down, so that means that as the horse moves, its musculature can move freely, and we've been able to prove this with gait analysis and pressure mapping.
And that's not where it ends, because the girths are quite different, being traditional exercise girths, and yours looks very different.
Yeah, so these are shaped, if you imagine that's the front of the horse, and these are cut right back behind the elbow, so it allows the muscles behind the elbow with each stride they've got the freedom to move and they're not restricted by a straight edge. And this was developed for the London Olympics 2012, and every single member of the team had the opportunity to use these and get the advantage. The bridles, and you can actually get the advantage from these during training and racing, is that we discovered a pressure point at the top of the jaw joint here. So as the horse moves in gallop, it was getting a high peak pressure with every stride. And with the rings on this, you've got more harmony. So it's all about moving with the horse, not against the horse.
No yard can function without a fully on-side team. It's crucial to have a happy staff. If you've got a happy staff, you'll have happy, relaxed horses.
You look after this guy, so you have the most important job in the whole yard.
Yes, apparently, and it's not really easy. Sometimes a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Especially because of him. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable to look after him.
So you say it's not easy, but is that just because of the pressure or because he's not easy?
No, just the pressure.
Yeah.
Especially because you were here all the time.
Me? I didn't put any pressure on. But he seems like a pretty cool customer.
He is, yeah, he is really good. He's really nice horse, easy to handle. Well, for me, basically, because obviously it needs a little bit of strength to put on him to handle him, because you rode him and you've seen how he is.
Yeah, he's
so,
enthusiastic.
Yeah, he is.
Right. Because you normally ride this short. Right, how's my seat?
Your seat, it looks perfect.
Fab, isn't it?
But there is a saddle under there somewhere.
Thanks.
You're looking good.
I think maybe we'll pass on the jumping. He's not looking that keen to go through doors, let alone. Lean forward. Right, so heels down, hands up. Hands down. I'm going to hold on. Okay. Oh. Right, this is not as easy as I thought.
You told me you were the pilot, not the passenger. So come on, you need to tell him.
I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot.
We're going to trot now. Go. There we go. And then you just got to find the rhythm with his trot, so he'll naturally bounce you up out of the saddle.
Okay.
And then you come back down.
It is quite painful when I land. I don't think I'm wearing the appropriate undercarriage garment. Let's go! I'm the pilot, Hal! Oh, sorry. I'm pulling on the. So keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, the
Straight from first to third gear then for a minute.
There we go.
I like a rising trot. Hold on. Ah. Oh well. Listen, I'm lucky my wife's pregnant because I'm not planning on having a child now. I think I'm pulling on the rein slightly when he goes.
What actually is a bit of a trick that we do in racing, especially probably the equestrian world.
It's hire a jockey.
Yeah, it's not going to make it to ride the horse. Why don't you stick to doing what you do best? No, but we're going to nail this. We're going to crack it. So what I tend to do is hold the reins a bit lower, like this.
Yeah.
And then put a finger in the neck strap there.
Yeah.
So that'll just keep your hands anchored down.
Okay, here we go. Go on, Hal.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
There we go. You're even cantering now. Hands down. Yeah, well done.
Okay.
I think trotting's
Okay.
racing.
Oh, there
Yeah,
we go. Slow
trotting's
down.
racing. There we go.
I just thought I'd stop for a second and rearrange.
Off you go.
Right, here we go, Hal. This is your last run. This is the final.
You've got to go jumping yet?
Well, I'd like to think this is going up the hill at Cheltenham. Do it on the next straight we're going, and I'm going to sit like a jockey.
Hands down.
As he
Yeah.
comes round the corner to the last fence. Comes to the final fence.
Oh, shitting hell! I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah!
Bloody hell, you need to be strong.
There we go, that's looking good. And I'll give him a little click up and he might have a canter.
No way.
There we go. And now we're going.
Okay, easy. How do you slow him down?
Just lean back a bit.
How do you slow him down? There we go. There we go, Hal. Hold on. I can confirm it's harder than it looks.
Harder than it looks?
Considerably
You've been
harder
going
than it
for
looks.
about 30 seconds ago there.
Yeah, I know. I like a nice 5 furlong at Newcastle. That's about my distance. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mr. Webber.
It's an honour. Hand out.
Thanks, Francesca.
Good job.
An honour. Tomorrow?
I'll see you.
First lot, 7:30.
I'll be there.
Hello, jockey. I'm very proud of you.